All right, so I wanted to show this off, and I gotta say I can't even take credit for it, but my wife and I were fortunate enough to be able to replace a Suburban every year, and starting out in 2015 when they put in this tray organizer thing. Every time you open up the back hatch, whatever you have sitting here just rolls right out the back. I can't tell you how many gallons of milk we've lost, how many times the stroller fell out and nicked up the back bumper. And so I got to the point where underneath here, take this little rubber mat up, there's some screws there. Just unscrew this, and there's also one on this side too, but that whole organizer system comes out completely. And the only fall off to having that out is behind the seats. If you have the powered seat option here, behind the seats you can see the electronics for the powered seats and the motors and stuff like that. So it kind of makes an unfinished look when you take this out. But underneath here, it's carpet, and it's just a completely flat surface. And so putting strollers and balls and groceries, turns out great. And so for the last 3-4 years, every time we get a Suburban, I take this tray out and just totally get rid of it. And, I live with the unfinished look on the back of the seats and don't worry about my stuff falling out. Well, this is a 19 Suburban, and sure enough, I was getting ready to do the same thing. I had a customer come in, and he showed it to me. It's actually on a Tahoe, and in a Tahoe, I think this organizer's only back to about here. Maybe a little bit further, but not much. Anyways, he had completely taken the lid off, and he said this was great. Uses this as an organizer, and it's wonderful without the lid. Now you got a little stop right here. In fact, the new Expeditions, they advertise, I forget what it is, great. Oh, it's marinara sauce. They advertise marinara sauce rolling to the edge and stopping. Well, good news, Chevy owners, your marinara sauce will no longer fall at the back of the Suburban. Anyways, so to take this lid off, it does require a little bit of finesse here, but I used attached right here, and the same thing on this side. There are 2 nylon straps that go up and they act as stoppers. It's riveted on, so you have to drill that out. But the rivets are really soft. They were easy to drill out. And then attached right here is a not a shock absorber, but you'll see it on your own. But when you lift that lid up there, there's a little shock type system that keeps the lid up. Anyways, there's just a little metal tab on it, and I'm sorry I'm not showing you, but there's a little metal tab on it. You just pull that little metal tab out, and then that pops right off. And then you do have to take the organizer completely out to do this, but you can see all these little holes right here. They go all the way across. Anyways, on the underside, you do have to use a drill bit and just drill through those rivets, and you drill through those rivets, and the lid comes right off. And truly, if you ever want to put it back on ever again, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to buy some pop rivets. And even a rivet gun, if you don't own one, they're cheap as heck at Harbor Freight. Gosh, you can get a rivet gun for, I don't know, $10-20 bucks, So if you ever wanted to put the lid back on, you certainly could. It's not like you're destroying this thing to the point where you can't put it back together again. But so now, got a nice, neat, fancy organizer here. And what I'll do is I'll even pause the video just to go grab the drill bit and show you the sizes that I used to drill that out. And I'll even grab a picture of that little shock spring thing so you can see what you have to do to remove that. But I'll tell you, I think this is going to be a great solution compared to the way it was before. It still has a nice finished look, and now you've got plenty of room if you want to, put groceries in there and stuff like that. And best of all, I don't have to trade my Suburban for an Explorer because my marinara sauce will be safe. So hold on one second.